Okay, welcome. I heard people asking after my post and what have you to hop online and give more info, more intel on how stuff works. If you, and I was like, again, ready to watch a show, my Ghost Adventures, No Borders to Hell, etc. Yeah, to educate self, to sit with self, and then I heard the conversations. Spirit was like that Q&A kind of thing. I was telling Spirit that Q&A kind of thing that um, could work and be interesting to do, yeah. But when people behave the way they did, I can't do it. I can't hop on a live when people uh, were hogging certain knowledge for themselves so they could make money. Therefore, Spirit was like, this is bad, real, serious, and bad. And that's why Spirit was pissed. Anywho, the example of me sitting, opening myself up. Yeah? Some of you readers, if you are doing household chores and you think it's a lot coming in, it's a space also where you are in a meditative state. You leave your body is on autopilot, so basically relaxing or has a certain focus, and that's how you draw in spirit guides, etc., to communicate with you. When I talk in, or if you, some of you have seen when I provide knowledge, you have seen me going in similar uh, loops. So it looks erratic or something, yeah? And it doesn't make sense for you as a reader in that moment. I picked it up as well, but I didn't know before how to explain it clearly. It is like Spirit and those shows that I'm watching where they use equipment, geoboxes, etc. They look for certain frequencies, certain realms. When you go up and down, fear, love, etc., Spirit has to calibrate. If you have, if you are dealing with an angel or your spirit guide, when you are doing that, the spirit guide can't come through clearly. Therefore, you get messages in phases, in layers, to kind of give you that nudge, that tickle. That is the case. That's the synchronicity. Therefore, if they can't, yeah, and they are guardians, etc., so they are attached to other spirits will come in, and if you are in hermit mode, yeah, other spirits will hop in, and also if you become afraid of those frequencies, you lower, and then you get, yeah, that's where with the shows they think spirit has to seek the frequency to come through to give one clear, longer message in the same voice. It takes a couple of rounds of measurement. No, it is how action, reaction mirrored. How do we react? How do they react? And we have to find links to feel one another, to understand one another. Therefore, I also, if tarot cards are spread, I was guided to, if I pull a spread, to leave it for a while, to let it lay in its place before I could get the full message, because I was like, I don't want to do the spread. Spirit was like, yeah, pull cards. Then I was like, okay, to honor our connection, I will. Therefore, I did. So you have tools and keys within a now moment. And then they let me do my thing. Then I get messages accordingly. Then I was like, then I don't need cards. Yeah. And Spirit earlier said something about, as a reader, if you pull cards, there could be a message in there for you as well. It is the overall, when you use discernment and you have a shift going on or a moon cycle going on, you can discern too much, where it becomes ignorance of the message. Cancerian energy is a water sign. So if water signs pop up, it can also have deeper meaning. What is water? Water was, okay, what did it mean in the cards? How does it reflect back to me? Therefore, I have several decks, yeah? Several meanings to trigger fantasy, realm, third eye, etc. According to the shift and how I sense, feel, have to grow. So, and I feel I don't understand my dreams and I want to read for someone else, because I know my story can help others. Readers were preventing growth for others. Hold on a sec, my kid wants to come in. Ja?
Ik moet nog puffen.
Wat had je het toch gedaan?
Ja, die witte, maar ik heb ook nog op die blauwe die ik moet doen.
Oh.
Ik heb 2 puffers die ik moet gebruiken.
Oké, Kontje. Doe maar dat kan ook stil, hè?
Ja.
Yeah. So I would first, I know my story can and my lessons can help out others. If others were, is what Spirit was channeling to me, hence that's why Spirit got PO'd. Yeah. If you are telling the story of someone else because you didn't want to see your own unhealed parts, and you are not doing the work, yet you say that others have to do the work, then you are preventing growth. Especially when you take up more topics in one reading than is necessary. I, as a holistic reader, was like, okay, holistic healer, reader, yeah? I was like, okay, when something is unclear in my dream state, I buy decks according to dream state. When I think I am dealing with dark night, etc., or darker elements, yeah, I buy darker decks. When I feel I have to deal with witchcraft, fantasy, inner child, etc., the older stories, then I buy myself a pagan tarot deck and decks in between. So my decks form a bridge. Can form a bridge, but can also have sub niches. When and this was more also more 3D nature, being outside, everything has meaning, and then on a lighter vibration. That's why I bought this. When I thought it had to do with faith, churches, etc., yeah, religions, I bought this deck because the depictions in the cards yeah. Let me show a few. They triggered. They awakened something. Like I said, this reminded me heavily on stories of the books, etc., religion. How they would woo one another and be sneaky behind the scenes and the hiccups, etc. Yeah? So every deck I bought with awareness, with an awakened state, not out of inner child, form of ego, greed, or to please another. Yeah? I was like, I buy it for myself. If I feel energy is too heavy when it comes to aliens and such, or my downloads are too blurry in the moment, I choose oracle cards for self. And I was looking in how can I implement it now that I have learned, that I am clear. How can I implement it for the viewer so I can, with a lighter energy, still straight but or serious, how can I help to show them where holistically they are stuck? Is it dream state? Is it, yeah? And then some loving advice cards and or own experience, something like that. In between the growth spurt of the downloads, before I needed to go in hermit mode, I noticed that spirit is, no, you can repeat the program on telly. This is more important. People are going, lol. Oh, God bless you. And then I'm helping, then I'm healing, helping people heal without splitting them from their own power and their own magic. Because for every positive, you have a negative. We are now working on the excess of it all. We are done with the spirit is done with the excess, the spreading of fear. And that is basically the whole clue, the whole thing behind the scenes. That if religion, churches would have spread fear, or the puppet masters on top, yeah, they already split the population of people with fear tools. With fear tactics. How they did it is not, don't go like being the hermit or the shaman, the Buddhist way you had to be alone or something. That made evil because that was an excess. It got blown way out of proportion and nobody stepped in and intervened when it came to your creations. You didn't take responsibility. So yeah, for other people, church, is it and religion, do we still use it? Is it, yeah? Churches are good, basically, for giving shelter, being a form of shelter. If you look around, it would be helpful if there were more churches or buildings of religion opening up their doors. If it couldn't be prevented, if they couldn't help prevent people going homeless. Yeah, so you have different layers, dimensions, realms, but that has more to do with your vibration, and therefore you attract spirit and have a communication. When we are filtering out old stories, or if we are debugging the system and all the fear tactics, but you manifested what you have now with fear residue, misunderstood, dark night of the soul manifestations, yeah, then if church again wants power, or the puppet masters on top want power, it's easy to F with your mind and your being, because you still somehow had residue to link onto to manipulate the fear. Churches or the puppet masters don't understand that the people that F around on the opposite side, maybe the opposite side, yeah? Or the people who try to be actor slash puppet master slash something else. They are also still casting illusions, hence 3D people who are awakening or are they are in panic. They don't know the new. They don't know. They don't have the insights as of yet. Yeah, everything what they feared is in the storm. Both parties know thy enemy, basically. And that's you break it down. If something looks overwhelming, you break it down. You broke it down, healing thus far as you came. We are at a point, we level up, but we should have content bridging the gap. If I see a love reading or if I see something in that nature, I know, okay, there is an element of a person viewing me, basically, that wanted that, really, who was asking for more knowledge about. And I was like, yeah, but I'm not going to enable you to stay stuck. I'm a healer. I'm a light worker, whatever you want to call it. And to show you that I can guide them. If you don't feel I can help you now, then I guide you to the next one. And therefore I can promote other content creators. And if they then don't like it, or if they think something of it, you know something was up with love. The content I provided, you didn't, that viewer didn't like. That's up to them. That's fine, it's your opinion. And then you are free to leave, no force. And there's also no competition, so therefore, yeah, I see that another reader can be helping, can fill in the gaps as well, and then we can balance, co-create, and make a foundation. And then we become, then all is one. Because I know, if you reviewing everything of body separately, I know it has forms of individuality. They are also independently a catalyst. But you have a full body, so it works together. Without force, without, whoa, it's me, per se, yeah. And that is also ties in water. In the water theory. Hold on. Let's ask. Was jij nou bang dat ik door jou ook kwijt zou raken? Wil je dat niet meer doen? Ja, want dat triggerde. In Dutch, I asked if the other person in the room was like, I hope she's not forgetting anything or gets distracted, and may, being the mirror, it reflected for a moment. Yeah. Do you want to, if you hear all of this, do you want to be spiritual? Do you want that growth? That's a opinion and a choice of self. But self asks the inner child will ask self questions. Like why? Why? Yeah? And the direct response from universe, which is all around you, energy is all around you, is also ancient knowledge. So your reflections are everywhere. No matter where you go, you will always have shadow or a clear reflection of self everywhere you go. That's the theory if you would read it separately in a book. We are now basically putting it to practice. Therein lies the confusion. Because the brain is, or parts of the brain are awakened and go like, what the? And without, how do you call it? Why am I, that was a spontaneous Dutch. Wait for it. I hope I haven't done that before, by the way. Oh well. Yeah, energy everywhere, your reflections, yeah, but we have the basics to review it separately. For the I, etc., is to go within first. The confusion for some who developed further is spirit is body and mind in sync and listening. It's Home Alone. It was Home Alone and no, that kind of effect. So with me, they don't have to shout. And nature is an energy is always flowing. You can't escape it. So if you, on the question, do you want spiritual growth? Do you want to? You don't have to. You can see this and think, okay, people are working on it. How can I readjust or make my 3D in how I would like it? And then you just work with that. That's okay too. And then, okay, others are, and then you don't have to fear. Therefore, you don't feed into the collective fear where people like me and former versions of me go in the meditation or in the dream state, etc. Like, it's an attack, or it's no, it is exactly how it needs to be, how it's supposed to be. Yeah, and if you choose that and you create it in the 3D, what you have created, that's okay, but be more humble, more respectful, more thankful. Not as in what's been going on, I don't know how long, yeah, with the community, everybody going gangster style, tarot card, yeah, witchcraft, yada yada. No, those readers, Spirit was, I offer healings. Because in another reading, I saw witchcraft and they are attacking you so and so. But my side niche, so are making, they are making money now, and also because they believe there was spell in that spell work, they are stuck in that, yeah. Then you didn't clear your spell work that you thought you got hit with, for one. Then you ask money. Then you are asking money for to basically tell them what other readers told them as well. And then you are asking for, I can relieve it for you. That's enabling. Mirroring. It's the bad people, for real. Oh, for the viewer, yeah, you are a past version of me, as in theory, yeah, to link on to as a tip, which theories you can research if you don't want to believe me, or you don't like to like it, subscribe it. It's up to you. You go research it there, or you take best of both worlds. Yeah, you are a past version of me. If I can do it with these tips and tricks, I could rebuild and roam and arm building one day. Keep that in mind. Yes, it can be frustrating, yes. But you can do it as well. You have the similar magic in you. Readers in between that collided with me. Bumped the head with me. My horns are like, if you got them, flaunt them. What? I know I'm other signs as well, but yeah, the bull has some certain respect. Don't wave that red cloth, yeah? Because they will get. That was a beautiful analogy. Thank you, Spirit. If you can, no matter where you are, also the readers, that is a frustration point that you might have not worked on, that you haven't healed, which is human, that's normal. Those friction and frustration. Is it friction, frustration now still? Or is it maybe, can you label it, so morph it into something else? So then you see it, you acknowledge it, you accept it, and if that has synced in, and then you ran it by fear or past fear, your shadow side, and then you ask, then you go in evaluation with darkness. Is it still that what I thought it was? Or do you have a message for me? How can I help? How can we help one another? Then you are forming a bond. Then you are being a mom, dad in collaboration. Then you are being a masculine, feminine in collaboration. And then you are neutralizing the inner child. And then the inner child is safe to grow up as in higher self. Then when in a masculine as a task, also goes for inner feminine, and the tasks, the division of tasks are clear. And if the inner feminine is tired or needs a purge or whatever, the inner masculine shows he feels for you and wants to, but know that because it was neglected by past belief systems, don't believe in spirit, or ignore the spirit, or you have nothing to do with spirit, or yeah, no, just have had explained these in between steps, and people will be functioning better. Yeah, because in other videos I said, if the devil isn't the devil but just another misunderstood ancestor, you are the kid of the misunderstood, misinterpreted, lied about, etc. Spell work, if you see spell work as a niche, like Twin Flame is a niche on Prince Charming, etc. Yeah, people didn't want to believe in Prince Charming and all the fairy tales because it was all. You have a part of truth, and that is that somewhere in the lineage you had people greedy and wanting to control narratives and hide away the bad stuff. Find excuses for their behavior. Yeah, so you got for the feminine you had the television as entertainment, so she wouldn't concoct stuff in her own brain. Think it through. Go mental, so to speak, and masculine could do whatever. Meanwhile, the Prince Charming Cinderella story got on a fantasy level, got told on a fantasy level. So you would believe the fantasy, the masculine was feeding you. And that's just for the topic now. Like I said, everything is layered. I'm not here to spread fear. This balance. So meanwhile, somewhere the inner child got a hint of it. Was in stagnation or stopped it? Don't know. Anywho, many generations down the line, other people were smart enough to see, okay, people need, because like I said, it is balanced. In others I can go, for the greedy people who take knowledge, morph it into something else like, and here give me money because I, while you went copy paste and morphing a bit. That was not fair, imbalanced. There are genuine good people. And that is when and if it was about the creator doing it or the people who wanted to squeeze a buck out of that idea and ran with it and made it into something else. Yeah? In every niche you have rotten apples, and in every niche you have perfectly good functioning people. Therefore, the twin flame journey was provided as a other way of getting new knowledge to you or get you interested in topics, willing to learn are the bigger steps behind the scenes with the tools and whatever it is for you in the moment. So, wax on, wax off, doing household chores, etc. And then letting yourself expand because you are in a comfortable place you know, where you can be safe on autopilot, is also a way of another form, a level up of meditating. So, like I said, readers, channelers, you are already showing up with gifts. But then again, on the other side, I, being the mirror and knowing my inner, I can see other people who misunderstood all the in-between steps I just explained of what they think they saw in the reflection of the now, and then they are feeding back in, manifesting back in what we try to work out. So, how desperately is we want a better life for all of us. We want more peace and quiet. We want our ancestors to rest in peace. We know to be thankful of that. We need a little, but again, the excess is redundant. Yeah? So if you come in contact with me, I can see the good in you. I can see you have the gift. I get enthusiastic as well. And then you get that emotional mirror, like that is what you always wanted to do. I have the knowledge how to access. If you didn't, that's why you came in contact with me, but you are like, I saw it and I'm running. Yeah, then you are going to get grounded. Yeah, you will trip and smack your face to the ground and be grounded by spirit. It's ironic. Laughing Buddha. Karma. Cycles. It's that simple. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So all the excess are mirrors as well. People always spoke about in the growth cycles, energy vampires. If you look at it through my eyes, I see people who heard too much negative already, who are tired of the input and desperately, basically, want to see some light. But with energy vampire, are you mirroring light or not? Then you are keeping them same as with the woke culture. If our generation was neutral and acceptance of all cultures, of all people, so reason and function to everybody, everyone, as a human being, which we all are. There we had a multicultural, and there we had more acceptance than we have or have had now. And there's a stinger there as well. I wanted to work on that. I was like, is that even true, or is that the hate speeches of the politicians or somebody with an agenda to cause certain reactions for own benefit? Because before me, there was a division in class. You had rich, middle class, poor. Being that 1890s child growing up, there was a bridge basically. So I felt balanced. But then you still had the people who didn't debug the history because they never knew how. That's all. So we had to juggle both sides of the story. I used to parent in a way I want to prevent the excess of family patterns. But I saw that what I didn't like back then was somewhat needed to become the person I am today. But when I started parenting that way, isn't that hard? No. Governments were already meddling. The feminine can work, has to work, babies can go to school, so people with an agenda can mold it because there was distrust in parenting, and others had greed that everybody needed to work so they could make more money off of you. Yeah. Therefore, we didn't see the separation with our children. Do I go into that? I don't know yet. Because a kid experiences the confusion as well when both parents are working full time because they have to, because others find ways to create the illusion that you have to. No, it was all for their freaking benefit, not for yours or nor your children, yeah? I was a stay-at-home mom for Aiden and Jonah. Because I noticed down the line the confusion within kids. If you hold them during the periods that you are allowed to be free and be with your kids before you need to get back to work, you bond with your kid. And your kid knows, okay. But in the cycle, it is a cycle. There's a repetition to renew that bond. If within those cycles the kid is going to school, you get the confusion, like I'm going back home, but I have to, they claim to be my parents, but during the day they take care of me, and then you get that freaking confusion, hence your child will rebel against you. Have those toddler, teenage, they blame it on the kid because it's that easy, and then they can, yeah? Where it is, if you look at it, as I explained, it is a reasonable, logical reaction. And there are, if you are aware, when you have the knowledge, it's not to make you afraid, but when you have this knowledge, you can have better conversations with your kid. And you can make better choices for yourself, however you want it, because being an at-home parent isn't all that romantic. Yeah. For the moms having issues going to work and feeling that separation, and they blame it on you too, so you can live life positively, balancing it out. and you can cope with doing that. Yeah? But if we are all memory cells, if we are basically all that sensitive and we build a bond with someone else, and throughout history, nature, people can sense fear or emergency situations from a distance, hence I'm here. I'm alive. Yeah. Then you might as well pick up your in feelings and emotions your child. Then you decide, okay, how can I cope with it, or how do I deal with it, or how would I like to view it? Is it the memory cells? You get being partially you, and do we both wean off in a, do I need to lead by example and wean off and balance in a healthy way where we still can have a connection but grow together? Do I solely have that scientific mindset where I find those niches interesting? Do I want to figure out? That is all up to you. For you. You're a free spirit there. Yeah, and maybe you find something and can create other content in that field if it is not there yet, or if something is missing with somebody else, you can help. Ask if you can help fill in the gaps. If they don't like it, then there might be somebody else. And if there are more ways, more roads that lead to Rome. Our generation versus woke. I was on that. Thank you, Spirit. I noticed the split, the confusion. Therefore, I was aware with my kids what was going on every cycle they went through, where my kid thought he wanted to be a girl, and that had to do with us as a child looking up to people, taught to be that way, take bits and pieces to copy and mirror the one we look up to. When you are a kid, you look up to a lot of people. Yeah. On a personal note, I saw that he saw me, my son saw me as the strongest person of the household. Because also all parents, belief systems, the father believes in his own way of being and acts it out on a daily basis. Therefore, we had a giant gap between us, basically, when it comes to hard matters. So, and you work it out more as co-creating business, mutual business kind of way. So therefore there are reasons why my sons viewed me as the strongest one. My kid didn't want to feel the things that might feel or would show him. He didn't want to be or become that way. So in his mindset, he saw all the feminines enjoying life, doing their thing, being strong and empowered without force, and therefore he thought he needed to be a feminine. And I was open. I was like, okay, because he had a conversation. He said, Mom, I want to be a girl. I said, okay, if you feel that, yeah. And I asked right away, do you want to wear a dress? I mean, I can get you a dress. I can help, then we can let your hair grow out, etc. How did you feel it? Do you want to wear a dress soon, or a blouse, or there are more ways to look like a girl? And then I don't push my vision and my narratives on a kid. I don't hinder him in being what he thinks he needs to be in the moment. And I was like, okay, well, you have options as well. I said, you can, your mom liked to dress up in your granddad's boots, army boots. Do you feel it as you would like to play dress up some more? And I explained my brother wanted to play with my Barbie dolls, and I wanted to play with his cars and a Lego. And he was like, oh, there are options. And I was like, yeah, that's how you can vent whatever you feel, and you can experiment, and you can use your imagination. Okay. And the conversations, because I wanted to make sure that I was making any mistakes in a relaxed way, I would have more conversations. I was like, would you like to wear a dress then? Or do you feel feminine another way? So it could be a possibility that maybe you find your mom more active, and that's why you look up to her. That you see mom as a kind of superhero in it now, and that's okay. Or do you really feel? And then in between, then I would let it go again. And then kids always come back. Mom, what is it now? Or mom, why this, why that? Yeah, and then you playfully have light conversations in between. And they also pick one topic to break the ice before they. And then he was like, no, I don't want to wear a dress. You want to have long hair? No. And then because it was a pattern or some thought, he apparently was struggling with, based on what's feminine, what's masculine in general, and what do I choose. Then you see what he was holding on to. How we concocted the whole. I was like, then you see, recognizing that he was in a trigger moment, not as in fear, frustration, or whatever, just as in how do I hash it out. And I was like, I love you. I love you no matter what you choose. Yeah? And I explained I have friends of the, the word. For me, they are human as well. Yeah? So I rather keep it simple. Spirit also, when spirit talks, they like sometimes have, because we fluctuate, they have to fluctuate, they don't have the space or the time to be elaborate or that elaborate as they would like to be. Kid hashing it out. So it was nothing personal. And I was like, please know that I love you no matter what you decide. I see where you come from and where you are standing. I respect you, and you see I've accepted other people, so if you want to go your path and that's your path, then it's up to you. I said, but it is not the operation is not a role play. It is not I just go change my clothes and when I'm done with it I can change back. No. I said, that path is one with, like every other path you choose. If you like to be how you are now and you are filling in the role you think you are supposed to be filling in, you will have hurdles, you will have bumps. And depending on how you have your insights, it can be rough, it can be light, but with that path you have no take backs or no switch backs, because there is a money factor in it as well. So can we then, if you still feel this way, yeah, it's perfectly fine. If you still feel this way, let me know, then we can make an appointment with the doctor. It takes, when I had that conversation, it would take a while. Why I'm baffled as in how they like to play with the process and how fast. I understand victims or people who really genuinely feel and were waiting that long all along. I wonder if, I wonder if they even got help, because if you shorten the waiting list and everybody in between comes first because they are shouting proud because the path makers were, and they still get bumped back, then the actual people who wanted help weren't helped. And a new spirit kind of action reflection, we don't know. Yeah, and then spirit is like it yeah, but also back and forth. Can we reserve for clarity that in the other conversation? Then turned out my kid was generally not feeling an operation or that stamp, that label, that everlasting change. And if I ask him now if I ask him now, like, do you still like to be a girl? I don't want to be a girl. Yeah, but back in the day, you want no, and then we both as parents are like, yeah, no, no, I didn't want no. Mm-mm. So I don't hate people generally. I don't, and I accept everybody. And for the readers, yeah, this story is again about insights, knowledge, doing the work for self, your lineage, for be the gap or fill that gap, as in be the possibility out of free choice for possible clients to help them heal. That is clear enough. So you have to cut edit because I feel can be one video, but can be split up in several. Don't know. Going to play with the ideas. But not all is as it seems, and please don't feed in those old fears. Know now from one another that if readers in general saw each other before in the realms, didn't know what it was, didn't know they were psychic or knew, but were both in ego mindset, like yeah, starting up being content creators, then that error rippled down, and hence we are here with a multitude of people thinking they could do the same. If they feared the other reader reading, then and they had a collision, but didn't work it through, yeah. Hence we are sitting here, this position. No, let's get over the BS, the excess. Yeah. So if another reader now or light worker now starts to work on it, him, her, self, and or works with spirit, bear in mind that you might pick up the other. Yeah, they can link up for questions. I rather, to keep it clear, yeah, have this channel. If you like Q&As, like, share, subscribe. If you have the possibility, donate. Then I can work out what I'm supposed to do with the new. Implement what is fitting to whatever the situation is then and there. In the meanwhile, I think it's best because I like practice and I like people, the conversations with people, because I see the realm then being practiced, but because all of the in between I had in this video, we can go. What? Those are part of it too, but then I much rather have people mailing me. And I got my mail address linked to my account. I also opened up the links, if I'm correct. That is when you see my tab of my home page. I know how it works with a computer. I don't know how it works with the app, but I added websites. Being Twitter. And my mail address. And having life and working stuff out. It can take a while before I respond because I have to get used to this new pace. This new way of being. So forgive me if I'm slower than you in responding than you might like or want to respond. Forgive you and see it as you are practicing patience and understanding. Yeah, no, this was a. You pull all of the knowledge of the now, oh Spirit, and my collaboration with Spirit. This helps enough. Let it sink in and become part of your foundation in your own creative way. Namaste. See you in the next.